Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Mustafiz Chowdhury. We at Mafik Foundation, we are embarking on a new initiative. It's called YMP-IT. And I want to explain what is this about and what it entails. YMP-IT stands for Young Muslim Professional Innovation Tank. As you may all know, that Mafik Foundation has started doing youth initiatives, youth programs since 2001. And this is a new initiative and we are very excited about it. This is a slide that is pretty self-explanatory and it explains what we want to do, why we want to do, and how we want to conduct this initiative. And it is a creative way of engaging our youth to solve a problem of interest. And what this problem is about, that we want to explain it in the next slide or so. So it will be like a Shark Tank type event, and we'll have a kickoff meeting inshallah on 12th August at Adams Center. There we will explain what this initiative is and what the problem statement would be and how long you'll be working. And we want team to be formed, then you can work on your own for 4 to 5 weeks. And in the midway in between, there will be a meeting that where we can reassess, reevaluate, and look at if anybody needs any assistance, that we can monitor those things at the midterm. And then finally on 16th September we'll have the final presentation inshallah at University of Maryland. So any young professionals, Muslim professionals who have graduated in the last 10 years or so, they can take part in this initiative. Mashallah, there have been remarkable achievements in the last 2 decades in America. Islam has been reinvested, new ideas have emerged, a new initiative has been initiated. Mashallah, you know Brother Muhammad al-Sharif, may Allah reward him and grant him the Jannatul Firdaus. He has changed the way the knowledge can be transmitted in a revolutionary way. So we have seen all those things happening around us and we have experienced this. So what are we missing? And how are we being viewed by others? This is age-old questions, and it has been there, it will be there. So let's look at this problem differently in the next slide, inshallah. In this slide, I would like to explain the state of our affairs and why we need an innovative solution. Mashallah, we are strong. There is no lack of knowledgeable youth with strong educational foundation in our community. And you know it, and the community knows it in the DMV area. There are hundreds of huffaz, mashallah. May Allah protect them. But if you recall, 2 decades ago, we had to import the huffaz. So we have high-tech entrepreneur, tech-savvy youth, and they're expanding the frontier of knowledge. But in terms of when the strength is there, then we need to look at where we are vulnerable. What are our weaknesses? One of the weakness that you may agree with me, that we have weakness in our organizational structure. We are fragmented. We have non-committed coordination, communication, and collaboration amongst the institution and organizations. And many of our youth might be feeling complacent and living in a virtual world. So why we need to know what our state is? Because if we are not alert, not proactive, we may find ourselves sitting on a rail track to be crashed by an impending train. So there are threats, because as you know that our Muslim identity and our way of life has been threatened. There are threats externally and internally. There are dark forces that do not cease to exist. Islamophobia has been there, will be there, and as you can see that all those, from Salman Rushdie to uh, Danish cartoon and the Islamophobia, these are not random acts and isolated incidents. These are somebody is cooking behind the scene. Age-old systematic propaganda machine continues to emerge in different form and formats, shapes. They are determined to infiltrate amongst our rank and file. So what are we doing about it? How can we address it? And what are the solutions that we should be looking for? And this needs a fresh idea, new way of looking at these things, because we have not been able to address it. We cannot use the same solution that has worked 20 or 30 years ago. But the solution has to be addressed with contemporary ideas and thoughts that only the youth like you can, inshallah, bring forth. So what is the problem we are talking about? Or specifically what we want our participants to address in this Shark Tank like event? So our problems, as explained in the previous slides, that we have a recurring threats to our identity. We have a lack of effective 3Cs: communication, coordination, and cooperation among the individuals and the organizations. We are vulnerable and we have weaknesses. So our purpose is, our goal is to find an out-of-box approach. So it could be technical or a non-technical solution to leverage our strength and to avail opportunities for better tomorrow. So what the problem statement is, what would it take to attain the synchronization of our efforts, and how might we solve it? So a conceptual background to understand this concept, what this is about. Let's look at the problem space in this slide. I will try to explain our current situation in a very simplified model. Here you can see that we have a core, but seems like these are apparently disjointed. There are multi-agent systems, but these are disjointed. So the question is, who is driving, and how are we facilitating synchronization of our efforts to serve the core? So as if one may draw a conclusion from here, from this simplified model, that we can see it is a typical dysfunctional body, and they are supported by disjointed elements and claiming each to be represent a body of their own right. Now, why it is important for us? Because in really that we may experience locally, nationally, or even globally. But where do you would like to go? So maybe it seems little naive to think this way, but in a very rudimentary level, you may think that we may need a system where how we could integrate synchronizations of all the efforts that all entities are working towards. And these submissive elements, as if it is the limbs of our body to serve a functional body. So this is, we see what our problems are and where we would like to be. And keeping these two slides in mind, last two slides have the essence of background to formulate the scope of YMP-IT. We understand it is a huge problem, and we don't have to tackle this huge problem, because when we have a complex problem, what we do, we break down into pieces by table size. That's what we would like to see, that you come up with the ideas to tackle this challenging problem in a creative way. And as you know, we are not talking about just these two problems that we have to address. We want to bring your ideas out of box thinking. And out of box creative problem solving is not something we are inventing. Hasn't been that out of box problem solving been used by the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Hasn't been a prophetic tradition? Didn't he use different strategy, methodology to prepare for challenges in the Battle of Badr, Battle of Khandaq, and the Battle of Khyber? He even accepted ideas from his companion to solve impending challenges. His strategy for planning during the migration from Makkah to Medina was remarkable, non-traditional, and revolutionary. So what are you waiting for? Bring your mind, your talents, skills, and know-how, and face the challenges head on. So inshallah, we would like to see you come forward with your ideas, form a team, and present your ideas on 16 September at University of Maryland. And inshallah, we will try our best to find the top 3 ranked ideas, team ideas for transition and maturation. Give 10% of your talents. You will be using 100% in your professional undertaking. But give us just 10%, if not all. And 10% can make a difference, inshallah. You have the power to make a difference, and we believe in your ability to do so. Let's go. Let's do it. And what are you waiting for? Thank you so much for listening to an explanation of the YMP-IT. So the next step, inshallah, we would like to sign up, and there is a form here, as you can see here, and this form is available. And you form a team and come forward with your idea. Jazakallah khaira for listening to this process entirely. Plant the seed and trust in Allah. Jazakallah khaira. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.